Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffery Combs, good to be here with you on Tuesday Facebook Live. The history of this Facebook Live goes all the way back to 1999 and a 5 o'clock afternoon. It was, at the time, it was a mindset call. It was called Posture Up, and it was at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 2 o'clock Pacific. So it's good to be here with you on what is now the Golden Mastermind Podcast. So good to be here at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 1 o'clock Pacific. Is this the first? Yes, this is the first podcast of 2025. So what an honor to be here with you. If you go to my Facebook page and scroll down, you will see that the topic for today is letting go of chronic worry. So if you are on my email list, you would have received this. So this goes out every Monday, and it covers the syllabus for the Facebook Live that happens every Tuesday. So I see Josh Waxman's team is populating the Facebook Live today, and I want to thank Jared Andra and David Hammer, who are really leading the way and promoting for me, and Ryan Barrett. It was good to meet you for my first call. So if you're on today's Facebook Live, this Facebook Live will be this. It will be this right here. It will be, let me get it for you. It will be gold right there. It will be gold. It'll be gold for you. So you have to turn it like this. So there it is. It goes like this. So this will be gold. That's what this is. This will be gold, this content. So this is a $20 gold piece. This is Walking Liberty and 13 stars on the rim of the gold piece. So the content today, some of it will come from this book right here, The Procrastination Cure. There's a chapter in here on the chronic worrier. And if you're a chronic worrier, what it means is that you are creating a chronic state in your body of recreating the same situation to fulfill the same feeling. It becomes a neurochemical craving. The body is creating adrenaline and cortisol in the same energy. It's virtually like heroin. So it's the body's way of manufacturing a high-low. And if you're a chronic procrastinator, it means that you chronically are getting ready to get ready. My newest student, Juan, has just joined me. Good to see you. Longtime client, Jose Andres, is here. Jose is also a friend of Josh Waxman. So for those of you who are real estate investors, follow Jose Andres. Jose, go ahead and post where people can find you. Jose and Josh are very good friends. They've been friends for several years through my events. So good to be here with you today. Alexis, also one of my newest clients today. Thank you for joining me. Mary, good to see you. And also Sarah and everyone else that's here with me today. I saw Aaron and Rosalinda. Good to see all of you today. So if you don't have this book, you can go to my website. Do not buy it from Amazon. Buy it from my website, The Procrastination Cure. If you buy the book, I'll give you another copy of The Breakthrough Factor free from my website, goldenmastermind.com. A chronic worrier is a man or a woman who spends a lot of time in their left brain analyzing, thinking, processing, getting ready to get ready, overwhelming themselves in their analytical egoic mind. The analyzer, the processor, the thinker, the validator, the justifier. If you grew up in a household where there was the commonality was men and women going, and if you grew up in a household where you're an adult child of alcoholic addicts or you're an adult child of narcissists, you grew up in unpredictability. And then unpredictability will create worrying about your father coming home, worrying about the beatings that are going to happen, worrying about getting criticized for your grades, or worrying about what's going to happen. And if you have food challenges, food allergies, if you had asthma, if you had eczema growing up, that's all byproducts of how much anxiety you were in and how it affected the immune system as a child. I grew up with asthma. My brother grew up with eczema. And if you look up that content in Louise Hay, Hay, Louise Hay book called You Can Heal Your Life, that's a child with stifled stuffed feelings and a child that doesn't want to be here, and then a child that gets under a parent's skin. That was what was going on in our household in a mind-body connection. And the more that you understand how events shape feelings, then you will no longer be the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. So if you're on this call this afternoon with me, thank you very much for being here. That means that I'm going to give you a fist tap, a high five, a hug for the courage to listen to this content, because this content can definitely assist you to let go. Letting go is a skill that I teach. No one teaches it in the world like I do. I'm the most renowned expert on that specific topic. And if I'm your coach, I can definitely assist you to understand what it means to separate your feelings. So Jared Andra is a young man who I've been coaching for 4 years, and he's absolutely breaking through, and he's beginning to scale the map of consciousness. So if you hear me say scale the map of consciousness, that's my term for when people say scale their business. Scaling consciousness is much more important than scaling your business, because when you scale consciousness, what you're doing is you're separating yourself from the anxiety, fear, and doubt that you grew up in. You're separating yourself from the trauma bonds and the panic patterns that you grew up in. So if you grew up in a household where scarcity, lack, poverty consciousness was taught at the dinner table, then you spent 20,000 meals with the wrong financial planners, and this will have a huge impact on how you yourself feel about asking for money, deserving money, receiving money, and it'll put you in a worry state. And it's that worry state that puts you into a place right here where you do this, where you procrastinate. Now, the word procrastination right here comes from the Latin term procrastinare. In Latin, procrastination means to avoid. So if you avoid the telephone, if you avoid lead calls, if you avoid your business, if you avoid any situation and you put things off, so what happens is that emotions have a corresponding future. And so what it means is you begin, the feelings compound. And so this is why people can't get their car in their garage, because they don't have the ability. They have the ability, but they don't own the ability to be able to let go of what's in their garage. They will turn their garage into a storage unit because they can't let go of the toys and all the stuff and junk that they continue to hold on to, because they have an emotional attachment to it. When you begin to live in a non-emotionally attached state to an outcome, you're living in what is called non-attached. And in a non-attached state, you're not worrying about what people are going to think. See, a major component of procrastination is worry. And so many people will procrastinate because they're worried about the outcome. They're worried about what people are going to think of them. They're worried about what people are going to say about them. They're worried about their relatives. They're worried about their friends. They're worried about society. They're worried that people are going to think they're trying to sell them something, which is you are. You're attempting to qualify them for your products, benefits, features, and services. And it's important that you understand that and that you let go. The separation of the feelings and the events that shape them. So when you're worrying, you're trying to control the outcome. When you let go of trying to control the outcome, then you can focus on the solution. When you're worried about what someone's going to say, you're worried you're going to get in trouble. Now that's what I have had those tendencies throughout my life as I have learned to let go of them. I would worry I would make a mistake and get criticized. That was going on frequently in my life. I was under a lot of scrutiny and criticism. And if you grew up in the same situation, then it becomes a major component of your neurological network of neurons that wire and fire that form your feelings. So this creates performance anxiety, the term choke. When you choke in sports, when you gag, when you make a mistake, when you throw a pick six, when you make a colossal blunder, when you make the mistake that costs someone the game. I mean, this is what happens in performance anxiety. There are errors in judgment, but there are also people that make mistakes in clusters because they become mistake conscious because of how much worry they hold on to. And if in your anxiety and worry, what it actually does also is it creates a space where you check out. So a chronic worrier will autonomically go right into their left brain. They'll go into fight or flight. They'll pull up their body. Then their emotional state goes from their abdomen right up here to their left brain. The left brain's the analytical mind, and that's why when you ask someone that goes into this fight or flight, they'll answer a question with or they'll stop and start in their sentence structure. A chronic worrier has challenges with fluid sentence structure because they stop and start worrying about making mistakes, trying to collect the data, trying to remember what to say, who to be, and what to do. This is why letting go is an acute skill that as you begin to master it, you will begin to see tremendous progress in who and what you attract. You'll see progress in your emotional energy. You won't be as tired. When you are worrying all the time, it is exhausting because what you're virtually trying to do is you're trying to control the future that has not happened. And since emotions have a corresponding future, in that worry about the future, you're living in doubt. And so in that level of doubt that you're in, you're secreting the neurochemicals of cortisol and adrenaline. And in your attractor factor on the map of the scale of consciousness, you go all the way down to the bottom of that map of the scale of consciousness. Here's the top of it. The top of it is enlightenment, and then the bottom of that map of scale of consciousness is apathy and grief, and then there's shame and guilt, and then there's abandonment, rejection. Those 6 energies comprise the lowest level of energy that we transmute our feelings. And when you're in apathy, grief, guilt and shame, and rejection and abandonment, those are the emotions that lead most prevalently to addictions. The other emotions that we access in anxiety, fear, or doubt are anger, hate, and then there's resentment, frustration, disappointment, and rage. That's the anger family. Then it's guilt and shame, abandonment, rejection, overwhelmed feelings, grief, apathy, and pride. And that comprises the neurological network of neurons that wire and fire that form our feelings. As you begin to let go of procrastination, as you let go of chronic worrier, being a worry. Was your mother a worrier? Did your father worry? Were they worried all the time? And did they turn their worry into criticism? If so, there's a high probability that you yourself have become a chronic worrier. Not because it's in the gene pool, not because it's in their DNA, but it's conditioned behavior. So did you have to take care of your mother, the chronic worrier? Did you become the therapist to your mother? Did you become the sister to your mother? Did you become the boyfriend? Did you become the husband? Because when you do this, now you've lost your innocence. And so when you have to take care of a chronic worrier or a codependent personality, you yourself now become codependent, and now you begin to worry about taking care of people. In codependency, a chronic worrier is a people pleaser, and they worry about other people's feelings. They worry about what someone's going to say. They worry about what someone's going to do. And so they will tend to over-obligate themselves based on the emotion of guilt. They'll do too much for others because they're worried they might get criticized. And if you worry about what people are going to say, if you're selfish, this is another key component, money skill. Many people worry that people are going to perceive them as selfish, so they will tend to either blow or sabotage a sale, or they will give the money away in multiple ways. And so this is what happens to so many good people that don't really understand sales, branding, and marketing skills, is they live in their analytical, egoic left brain in fight or flight, avoiding the outcome that hasn't happened. And if this is you, this is why you're listening to this content, so that you can breathe, release, and let go. Chronic worrying about money is another situation that is an epidemic that affects the world. Money does not worry about you, but if you worry about money, you are actually creating the distance between money to fulfill your scarcity, poverty consciousness, and lack. So if you're worried about money, or if you're a chronic debtor also, then you worry about the debt. And this is what happens to many people because their dialogue with money is not conducive to the creation of it. By changing the way you communicate, the way you feel about money, as you become more comfortable with the creativity, the innovation of creating it, as you become more comfortable with the selling process, as you become more comfortable with your insurance, network marketing, direct sales, real estate, coaching, products, services, benefits, and features. As you become more comfortable, you're in a relaxed body. Worry creates an anxious body. Worry creates frantic energy. It's overwhelm energy. It's nail biting. It's taking medication to take the edge off. The medical community will accuse you of being ADD, ADHD, which now gives them permission to medicate you and sedate you. And then you'll live in hesitation, meditation, pontification, procrastination, and you will spend a large percent of your life getting ready to get ready. Are your parents chronic worriers? Are your parents chronic avoiders? Are they chronic procrastinators? And if the answer is yes, that was the model of the house you grew up in. Are your parents hoarders? Did you have a house that's hoarded? Can your parents get their car in their garage? I mean, these are questions you want to ask yourself so that you can have a better understanding of the conditioned behavior that you grew up in, so you can practice the inner skill of letting go. Letting go is an absolute emotional skill. First of all, it's a longer breath cycle. The breath is from the abdomen to the back of the mouth. It's up here, and then it's released, and then on the back end of it, you say release. That's the affirmation. You're virtually conditioning your body. You're changing the circuitry, and you're teaching your brain and mind body to wire a new set of neurons. Not rewire, but to wire the neurons based on being in the present. And so in that shelf life that you're creating, now you're creating a state of consciousness in your brain called gamma brainwave state. As you learn to let go of the anxiety, fear, and doubt, as you learn to be more present, as you learn to not take situations so seriously, as you let go of being sensitive and defensive. And so when you're sensitive and defensive, you'll get your feelings hurt easy, and then you'll brood and pout over the outcome that you yourself created to fulfill the feelings of the payoff. And as you have a better understanding of what I just covered, so what it means is that many people will recreate a situation to fulfill a feeling that they are neurochemically and emotionally addicted to, which is called the payoff. And this is why people avoid and procrastinate. And if this has been you, and you look at your bank account, and you're 40 years old, and you have a low credit score, you have no available credit, you're low on money, and you're just barely getting by, that's a byproduct of the trauma, drama, panic patterns that you grew up in that you keep remanifesting to fulfill the same set of feelings. Your childhood is not your fault. It's your responsibility to have a better understanding of it and start to create that separation. Start to create that let go space. Begin to live in higher consciousness. Higher consciousness is the separation between anxiety, fear, and doubt, crossing the bridge to courage, acceptance, and willingness. That's the trifecta of the first step of higher consciousness to letting go. Because when you access the courage, which is a quality, not an emotion, as you access the courage, you're creating the separation. You've walked up on the bridge. As you accept the fact that you're on the bridge, now you can go to the other side of it. Now you're willing to take that next step. And that next step is gratitude. You're grateful that you have the courage to address the situation for what it is. You're grateful that you walked away from a job. You're grateful that you're paying down your credit card debt. Rather than being angry and upset about it, you learn to be in acceptance, which is gratitude. The Latin term for gratitude is called gratita. So that's what gratitude is. I put a post out yesterday on be and stay grateful in a relaxed body. Find every reason you can possibly find to be grateful, rather than every reason you can possibly feel to feel critical. That's where most of society lives. Be grateful in a relaxed body. And in that body, you can also begin to ask for forgiveness. You can forgive yourself and you forgive others. That's the separation factor. Because now you're no longer the victim of the circumstances. As you practice forgiveness and gratitude, you're raising your emotional vibration. It takes you out of chronic worry and brings you into a place called the solution. So the people will go, well, how do I let go of procrastination? You don't let go of procrastination, you let go of the feelings, which are the emotions that keep you procrastinating. Procrastination's the word, the feelings are overwhelm, guilt, shame, feeling selfish in other situations, and worrying about the future that you're trying to control while feeling out of control. So if you have a better understanding of this content that I'm covering, the depth of this content, then you can have a better understanding of what it means to let go, the separation between the feelings. So if you're chronically worried, it means you're chronically overwhelmed. If you're chronically worried, you're trying to control a situation that you feel out of control of. As you begin to let go of these feelings, now you're creating the space, that's the allow space, that will allow you to be and stay in a relaxed body, practicing emotional sobriety. And in this state of sobriety emotionally, you can put back-to-back days together between who you were last week versus who you are right now. And who you are right now is called the present. The day is not over. Do not give up on the day. On the East Coast, it's 4:20 Eastern Standard Time. Finish the day in momentum. Go to bed in a relaxed body. Pray before you go to bed. Make sure your bed has been made before you get in it for a change. Make your bed in the morning. Create a habit. If you don't make your bed in the morning, that's the first situation you procrastinate on. The way you do one situation is the way you do many. So if you blow your bed off, don't brush your teeth, and don't practice these skill sets, then what you're doing is winging your life. If you don't have a system, a method, or routine, you'll end up working for someone who does. That is a place called a job. My name is Jeffery Combs, president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. If you're watching my content for one of the first times, hit the like button. That will keep you in the news feed. The blue like button. That will keep you in my news feed. If you're not a Facebook friend, request me as your friend, and I will accept. I also offer free 20-minute coaching sessions for qualified buyers who are serious about changing the quality of their life. If you're seeking one-on-one coaching, send me a Facebook Messenger message, or you can go to my website, goldenmastermind.com. So in wrapping up today, breathe, release, and let go. Today is your day to be your best self in a relaxed body, producing results from the comfort of your office. Have an outstanding evening. Breathe, release, and let go.